Welcome to Simply Fun's How to Play Phantom Seas, a game where players use a compass and navigation cards to steer their ships towards sunken treasure sites scattered across the map, while trying to avoid the phantom ship that may take back their loot. You can play Phantom Seas with 2 to 4 players ages 8 and up. Phantom Seas is good for developing directional awareness skills, as players use a compass and choose navigation cards to move their pawn in cardinal and intercardinal directions to specific locations on the map. Phantom Seas also helps with navigating skills, as players strengthen their understanding of directionality and spatial orientation, as they need to reorient and adjust their route when the map is rotated. Place the game board in the center of the play area where everyone can reach. Then place the compass in the indicated corner of the map. Rotate the game board until the red side of the needle is pointing exactly north. Note that nearby magnets and metal parts of the table can affect the compass, so be sure you are at least 6 inches or more from any metal objects. Each player chooses one of the 4 ship pawns and places it on a different starting space, indicated by a picture of a ship next to it, 1 ship per side of the board. Mix up the treasure tiles, treasure chest side up, and place them randomly in the spaces marked with an X on the game board. Shuffle the navigation cards and place them face down as a deck at the north side of the map. Finally, place the phantom ship in the center space of the game board. Players take turns selecting navigation cards with compass instructions to direct their ship toward hidden treasure sites that are scattered across the map, while avoiding the phantom ship. The player with the largest bounty at the end of the game is the winner. The game is played over 7 rounds. Each round, the starting player reveals 7 navigation cards from the deck. Lay the cards in a line along the north side of the map so the tops of the cards all point north. The first player starts the round, then play continues clockwise. On your turn, select one of the cards from the line and move your ship pawn accordingly. Then discard the card in the discard pile. There are several different types of navigation cards. Single direction allows the player to move in one direction indicated by the needle, choosing one number from the range shown. 2 directions allows the player to choose between one of the 2 directions shown, east, west, or north, south, and move 1 or 2 spaces. North, south, east, west allows the player to choose one of the 4 compass directions and move the exact number of spaces shown. And northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest allows the player to choose one diagonal direction and move the exact number of spaces shown. Follow the directions on your chosen navigation card to move your ship toward one of the treasure tiles. Players must move their ship the full distance indicated, or chosen if a range is shown, on the navigation card. Except if your ship pawn would pass the edge of the map, stop on the last space available. If your ship reaches a space occupied by another ship, you must stop on the space before. Players' ships cannot move onto or through spaces occupied by other pawns or the phantom ship. If you choose, you may end your turn without moving. You must still select a card from the line, discard it, and say pass. If there are no cards left in the line on your turn, you become the starting player for the next round. Reveal 7 new navigation cards from the deck to create a new line. Then, gameplay continues. There are 3 different types of treasure tiles, each representing a different treasure value. The gold chest with 3 locks equals 3 points. The silver chest with 2 locks equals 2 points. And the bronze crate with 1 lock equals 1 point. In order to collect the treasure, your ship pawn must end its move on a space with a treasure chest. The treasure remains on the board if you move past it. Collect the treasure by placing it in front of you, then turn the tile over to reveal the event to all players. Each time you collect and flip over a treasure, the back of the treasure tile will reveal one of 2 events: turbulent waters or phantom ship. Turbulent waters. Turbulent waters will disorient you to keep the treasures hidden, causing the whole map to rotate 90 degrees clockwise, while keeping the compass pointing north. To rotate the board, first turn the compass 90 degrees counterclockwise, or 1/4 turn to the left. The needle will point toward the side marked east. Then, rotate the game board 90 degrees clockwise, 1/4 turn to the right, until the needle properly points to the side marked north again. Phantom ship. The phantom ship is the guardian of the treasures, and when activated, it will try to reclaim a treasure by moving toward the ship that is trying to salvage the treasure tile. The number of spaces the phantom ship moves is indicated on the back of the treasure tile. First, it moves diagonally toward your ship pawn until it reaches the same row or column. Then, it moves in a straight line. If the phantom ship reaches your ship pawn at any point during its move, it stops there and takes the treasure you just salvaged. This treasure is now discarded to the box. If the phantom ship is unable to reach your ship, it moves as far as possible and remains there until activated again, and you get to keep the treasure. The phantom ship only affects the player that has triggered the event by salvaging a treasure chest. It sails through all other ships, but any occupied spaces should still be counted when moving the phantom ship. The game ends after 7 rounds when all the navigation cards have been played or discarded. Scoring. Each player adds up the total value of all the treasure they have collected. The player with the largest bounty, highest total treasure value, is the winner. If there is a tie, the tied players add up all the phantom ship numbers on the back of their tiles, and the player with the highest total wins. Find your bearings, adjust your course, and navigate your ship toward the sunken treasures in the turbulent waters of the Phantom Seas.